Welcome to your first flip video for Algebra 1. We are starting with Unit 1, Simplifying Expressions, and the first standard we're going to work on is 2.0a, Exponent Rules. The first rule we're going to talk about is when you have an exponent that's raised to a 0 power. The way I'll represent this is with a variable. So, any number, x, raised to the power of 0 is always 1. That's just a rule you'll have to memorize. Let's go ahead and show an example of this. So, if I have the number 3 raised to the power of 0, my answer is always going to be, you guessed it, 1. Our next rule is the power of 1. Any number, still will say x, raised to the power of 1, will always just be itself. And that makes sense for the exponent rules from what we've seen before. Like x squared equals x times x. We wrote x twice. Here, x to the first power, x is only written one time. So, that means if we have an example of this, 3 to the first power is 3. That's the way we would simplify this expression. If you see this, we can make it more simple by changing it into just 3, because 3 to the first power is just 3. Our third rule we'll talk about in this video is negative exponents. Anytime you see a negative exponent, for example, any number to the negative power of 3. Remember, this exponent could be any number. Anytime you see a negative exponent, what this means is that you should have 1 over x to the third. So the negative exponent represents that this whole expression is a part of the denominator. Let's go ahead and look at an example of this. So, if we have a number, let's say 2 to the negative third. We have 2 steps to simplify here. First, we will say 1 over 2 to the third. And the reason we know that is a negative exponent tells us to put the whole expression into the denominator. And now we're not finished because we have to simplify this just a little bit further. So, 1 over 2 to the third is also equivalent to 1. And now you think to yourself, 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So, this expression, 2 to the negative third, is actually simplified to 1/8. So your answer is 1/8.